We're first going to flip the cylinder over and remove the operating rod plug and gasket. Next up, we'll pull the operating rod out on the other side until it stops. Remove the retaining screw with a JIS screwdriver. Next, we'll remove the idler gear and the exhaust valve guide here. So these idler gear and secondary exhaust valves should be pretty simple to get out, but if you see here, I'm trying to pull it out, and because of the oil and carbon residue built up after the past 23 years, they're a little bit difficult to get out. You don't just want to take a pair of pliers and get right on that shaft. Do not do that. You will ruin the shaft. So find maybe a piece of rubber, or maybe like I've got this microfiber towel, but still be super careful even with this microfiber towel, because the pliers can go through the towel, and ever so gently see if you can work that shaft up and out. Looks like that heat was able to help just a little bit. I made sure it cooled down before I actually even touched it. And I'm able to kind of work these things up and down a little bit. Yeah, these things are pretty gummed up, and that is why they were not coming out too easy. So you may or may not be able to get that secondary exhaust valve out without removing this operating rod, but in order to get this second one out, you do actually need to get the rod completely pushed through. So we're just going to remove the little clip off of the rod. Watch out, because that thing just went flying. Then you'll be able to push the rod completely through the opposite way, and then you'll be able to remove this secondary exhaust valve. Go ahead, get the cylinder flipped over. Then we're going to remove the main valve cover, the resonator cover, and the main valve rod cover. Next up is removing this main shaft nut off the main valve shaft. And the one thing that's very important to note is that this nut is left-handed threads or reverse thread. So you want to spin this nut clockwise to remove it. Then slide the gear off the valve shaft. You'll see that there's another rod on the inside of that cover there. Face the cylinder down and shake it out a little bit, and that rod should slide right out the front of the cylinder. Notice there's two ends of this rod, one with a notch right in the center. That's going to be facing out, and then the solid end of the rod is going to go back into the cylinder like that when you go to put it back together. All right, next up is removing this 3mm Allen bolt. If there's any carbon on the inside of that Allen head, you're going to want to remove that first before going ahead and taking this bolt out. And then that main shaft should just slide right out from the right side here. Got a little carbon residue on the inside there, so it's a little difficult to get out. Then that main lever can remove along with the pin. The pin's going to have to come out the left side there. And we've got the two main exhaust valve mounting bolts. You might need to wipe the carbon off them a little bit, like I have to do on this one. Just watch out for the washers on there as well. Then the main exhaust valve assembly should slide right out. And if you do have trouble sliding this out, there could be some carbon buildup. So what you're gonna have to do is just slide it back in. Just work it back and forth just a little bit, but it should be able to slide right out. So with that, you've got the exhaust valve assembly completely disassembled here. But first, you want to inspect the operating rod here and the main valve rod for any nicks, burrs, damage. You also want to check the teeth. If there are any damaged teeth, you definitely want to get those replaced. You want to inspect the operating rod seal on this side of the cylinder. If there's excessive wear or damage or it's cracked, you're going to want to replace that seal as well. Take a look at the exhaust valves and idler gear for any scoring, nicks, burrs, or any damage to those gears. If you do happen to come across any burrs or nicks on these pieces, you can decide with a fine cut file to go ahead and file those down. Inspect the main shaft, main valve gear, main lever and pin here, again for any excessive wear or damage. You do want to go ahead and clean all the carbon off of the parts as well as inside the cylinder here. I do have a video where I've already done that and explained that, so I will leave that link down in my description below. So the first thing we're going to get back installed is this valve guide that goes right here for the main operating rod. So I did get a brand new O-ring for that. You want to make sure you replace that O-ring if you did take that out, because I got the cylinder refinished by Millennium Technologies with the new nickel plating, so they vapor blasted it and re-nickel-sealed the cylinder. Now, it's always helpful to have a jug of Castor 927 or your favorite two-stroke oil to lube up these parts as you're putting them into the engine. So we'll just get that valve guide pushed into its slot. So as you see here, all the valve components are free of carbon. I did get them vapor blasted. And then I took some sandpaper to make the sub-exhaust valve super smooth after I matched them to the ports. You also want to remove any burrs on the tips of the sub-exhaust valves so the valve guides slide on there easily and rotate really smoothly. You can do that on both of them. And then you can also clean up the main exhaust valves as well. Polish them down, make them super smooth and shiny. That just makes the carbon stick less to them and flow out of the cylinder more efficiently. Okay, so we'll get the main exhaust valve assembled now. So you've got the holder piece, this pin, and then the small main exhaust valve. I'm just gonna take a little bit of two-stroke oil on that pin, and you wanna mate the holder and the sub-exhaust valve together like that, and then stick the pin in the hole so that valve should rotate on that pin very smoothly. Throw a little bit of two-stroke oil on there, rub it all around. Now you don't need an excessive amount, you just wanna get these things lubed up nice. And then the main exhaust valve will just rest on the whole system like that. Again, you can put a little two-stroke oil on there. You can also throw a little two-stroke oil into the cylinder bore where that main exhaust valve goes. Then once that is lubed up, you can go ahead and insert the main exhaust valve into that main exhaust valve slot. Get the 8mm bolts installed here. And go ahead and torque those to 48 inch-pounds. Then just go ahead and check to make sure that main exhaust valve moves freely in and out. Then we've got this little pin next. The little shoulder side is going to be on the left side when you're looking at the cylinder. You can throw a little oil on that as well. You might have to pull the main exhaust valve out to get it in there. Then next up is the main lever. You're going to throw a little bit of two-stroke oil on the inside of the bore. Then we can go ahead and get that installed on the pin just like that. Next up is this main shaft. Put a little bit of two-stroke oil on that. Now the threaded end is going to be towards the right if you're looking at the cylinder, and you'll put that through the hole in the right side of the cylinder as well as through the main lever there. And then the slot where the Allen bolt goes, you just want to make sure you line that up with the main lever. And get that Allen bolt installed on that main lever. And then that Allen bolt can be torqued down to 48 inch-pounds as well. And then just double check that the main exhaust valve moves freely and smoothly. Next up is the main valve rod here. Now there's two ends. There's a grooved end and a non-grooved end. You're going to install the grooved end facing out, and the rack here, or the teeth, they're going to be facing down. So going to put a little bit of two-stroke oil on that as well. And then with the grooved end facing out and then the rack facing down, you'll go ahead and get that installed into the slot in the cylinder right here. And I just got an Allen wrench. You want to make sure you push that rod all the way in until it bottoms out or seats. Now it's time to get these sub-exhaust valves installed here. The sub-exhaust valves are actually two different lengths. So the longer one's going to be on the left or the right side of the cylinder, and the shorter one's going to be on the right side or the left side of the cylinder when it's actually right side up. So what we're going to do, again, just use a little bit of that two-stroke oil where the gears are as well. And there's actually a shorter pin here on that sub-exhaust valve on both of them. You want to make sure that shorter pin faces forward to the front of the cylinder. When you go to install this valve here, again, push the Allen wrench in where that main lever was to make sure that's all the way in there. And again, with the short gear facing forward, you got to make sure that seats all the way into the bottom of the cylinder. And then same thing with the other valve here, the smaller one, and you're going to get it installed on the right side hole there. Then you've got the operating rod here. So you're going to install the rod with the teeth facing the gear. Now you'll notice a couple lines here on the operating rod. Those are the timing marks. So you're going to line up this timing line with the short gear tooth on the right side sub valve, and then you'll line up this timing line with the short gear on the left side valve. You can also mark these with white paint, and you'll be able to see the line down into the cylinder on the operating rod where the short valve is. So you kind of have to lift up on the valve a little bit, slide it through. You actually have to lift up on the second valve as well. Sometimes you got to use two hands, get that thing all the way slid through. So this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. So you see the short pin right there. You want to look down into the cylinder onto that operating rod for the timing line and line up the short pin with that timing line. Now you just want to do the same thing with the one on the right side as well. So there's a little better view of it. I got the short gear lined with the timing line on the operating rod. You can see as I'm rotating the operating rod, you can see the teeth, and then you'll see the full line of the timing line. And then again, the same thing. There's no secondary gear in there yet. You can see how the timing line matches up with the short gear pin. Next up is the idler gear. Now it's important to make sure the short gear on the sub valve still lines up with the line in the operating rod. Don't forget to put a little 2-stroke oil on those gears and the shaft as well. And I like to put my finger on the sub exhaust valve there, and then that idler gear can just slide right in there. And you'll notice as I turn the cylinder towards you guys, the timing line in the operating rod there still lines up with that short gear on the sub exhaust valve. Then you got the valve guide for that idler gear. So the half moon shape is going to face towards the sub exhaust valve there. And that should just be able to slide right in there. Now for the guides for the sub exhaust valves, I do have brand new O-rings that we'll be installing on there. Go ahead and oil them up and then throw them onto the valve guide themselves. And then you can get them installed onto the sub exhaust valves. Make sure they seat. Flip that cylinder back over. And then you go ahead and get the main valve rod cover installed onto the cylinder without the gasket. This is just going to help us set the timing of the valves when they're in the full open position. Just get that tightened down snug. You don't need to crank down on it. We're just testing now. Then pull the operating rod out all the way to the open position. And when they're in the open position, you'll be able to see completely through the sub exhaust valve ports on the left there and the right. Now what we're going to do is completely open the main exhaust valve here and make sure that is all the way pulled out, so when you look inside the cylinder you won't see the valve hanging down. So you got this valve in the closed position. I'll go ahead and open it up to completely expose the entire exhaust port, and it's just full flow out of the exhaust port. So you want to make sure you're continually holding that main exhaust valve so it doesn't fall back in, because we're setting the timing. Then you'll install the main valve gear onto that main valve shaft there, again making sure that the main exhaust valves and sub exhaust valves are pulled to the open position, and then go ahead and install that nut there. They are reverse threads, making sure the valves are still in the open position the entire time. This is very important, or else the timing of the valve won't open up and line up. Just get that snug for now. And this nut will be torqued down to 78 inch-pounds. Back out the screw to the main valve rod cover, and you can take it off. Make sure everything is lined up correctly. Pull the rod to the sub exhaust valves all the way out. That main valve rod should poke out and be flush against the case there. So that's kind of your check there to make sure that everything is timed up correctly. You also just want to take a look inside the cylinder too to make sure that main exhaust valve is all the way up inside the cylinder. If this main valve rod isn't flush against the cylinder and all the valves aren't completely open, like you see there, you can see completely through the cylinder there in that sub exhaust port. You'll have to take everything apart and then redo the timing again. Next up, you got the retaining screw for the operating rod. Get that screwed in and secured tightly. You don't want to over tighten this thing, you just want to make sure it's nice and snug. Then you can get the operating rod plug installed, and that thing is going to be torqued down to 16 foot-pounds. Out with the old hardware, in with the new hardware. Thanks to Spec Bolt, we're now going to get the main valve cover installed. We've got fresh gaskets thanks to Pro X. Now we will get the main valve cover installed first, because we can't screw on this bolt if we put on the main valve rod cover first. Just get them tightened down snug. Definitely don't want to over tighten them. Then you can go ahead with the main valve rod cover and a fresh gasket. Use your JIS screwdriver, get it tightened down snug, nothing crazy. And then the resonator cover with a new gasket. Again, snug on these, nothing too crazy.